हेलो संजय जी, वेलकम। ओह,
अभी दिख रहा है? नो,
अभी तक तो नहीं दिख रहा जी।
हीमा सर, गुड आफ्टरनून। आज तो वही कमाल हो गया, आपकी पगड़ी देख के बस दिल खुश हो गया एकदम।
चीमा सर, गुड इवनिंग, गुड आफ्टरनून, सत श्री अकाल।
हाँ जी।
ये ना मेरा कंप्यूटर का स्क्रीन का नीचे जो है ना, वहां पे मैंने उसको मिनिमाइज करके रखा हुआ है। वहां से
सर मोहपात्रा साहब, आप प्लीज मेरे को मेल कर दीजिए। आई विल जस्ट शेयर माय मेल आईडी विथ यू।
बोलो।
ये चैट के ऊपर मैं लिख रहा हूँ अभी। atul@egrowth.org। ठीक है जी।
ATUL।
वेलकम मिस्टर भंडारी।
सर आप ये चैट में देखेंगे तो वहां पर मैंने लिखा है, अभी देखिए।
हाँ, मिल गया।
मिल गया ना? हाँ जी, प्लीज मेल कर दीजिए, आई विल ओपन इट।
मिस्टर भंडारी, वेलकम।
थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू।
मैं आपको अभी मेल करता हूँ, 1 मिनट।
So we are at 7 minutes past 3 and we are just about to start. आप सब लोगों को जैसे कि पता है कि ये हफ्ते का सबसे बेहतरीन दिन होता है। इस दिन मिश्रा जी कुछ ऐसा खास चमत्कार करते हैं कि बस हम मंत्रमुग्ध हो जाते हैं। तो आज का जो चमत्कार इन्होंने किया है उनका नाम है महापात्रा साहब। So Mishra ji, please आप start करें। महापात्रा जी, as soon as I get the mail, I'll keep you informed and then I'll whenever
आप बोलना चालू करें, नो प्रॉब्लम।
बिल्कुल जी।
Thank you very much, Atul ji. Good afternoon, friends. Today we have got our guest of honor and chief guest and guest speaker, Mr. N.K. Mahapatra, who is CEO of Electronic Skill Council of India, which is famously known as ESSCI. He is known for his meticulous hands-on approach in almost all verticals of electronic industry, be it product positioning, product development, R&D, manufacturing, or sales, and as well as tireless work ethics. Mr. Mahapatra has a trail of achievements that spans his almost 40 years of bright career.
तक तो नहीं आया।
Having completed his BTech in Electronics and Communication from Apex Institute, IIT Kharagpur, he has done his master's MTech from IIT Delhi. He has worked in many reputed organizations, to name few, like Bharat Electronics, Hewlett Packard, Sam Electronics, UT Starcom, Midas Communication, VNL, etc., etc., etc. Today, he is coordinating with Ministry of Communication and IT. His organization is coordinating with Ministry of Communication and IT and Ministry of Skill Development. The main focus of Government of India is for the Make in India, and in electronic sector, lot of impetus is being given by the Government of India. So we will be getting all insights of what is available for the MSMEs and for the Make in India. So let us welcome Mr. Mahapatra, and it's over to you, Mr. Mahapatra.
I'll speak, but I hope he received my presentation.
Yeah, I've got your presentation. So
But please
start
say a few words. Say a few words, and then afterwards.
Before he puts the presentation.
Yeah.
Sir, namaskar aap sabko. It's good that I know Mishra ji and he does good work also, I know, but this one time I'm able to meet his friends. I'll be very happy to share my experience and what we are trying to do in the government right now. And you guys can contribute towards that. I'll be more happy, but I'll be frankly speaking about whatever we are trying to do and what we need to do. Today, as a country, today when I was attending the ISA Vision Summit in the morning, we all realized there are a lot of people from US speaking, Vinod Dham, Navriti from Intel. We all realize the potential of this country in terms of giving the world what it is today in terms of electronics. If you think the India is actually godfather of all electronics, good things have happened in the world, but it has so happened that our friends have gone from India to US and studied there and worked there and built their career and built companies there, but we didn't build India correctly. We still import a lot and continue to import a lot. So government is trying to make policies. Every time, every 5 years, we think government makes a policy, then it doesn't work, then it tries to make a revised policy. We try to work, but the basic problem is we import far too many things and we don't control most of the electronics within the country. And there is one way or other electronics cannot be avoided. So it is better that we have to adapt ourselves, change our habits, or think what is wrong and how to do it right. Our dependency on import is too high, and we are caught up into huge consumer electronics drive in electronics beyond the strategic electronics and the future of electronics, warfare, you name it, defense, everything is electronics. Today we are talking digital world, the whole world is electronics. So I will tell my version of it. And I worked about 30, 40 years. I started my career with Bharat Electronics after passing out from IIT Kharagpur. So I was in R&D. I started my career typically from IIT. You start in R&D, good jobs. But we worked in R&D for about 8, 10 years. We did a lot of good products. But they have limited life in India because India is not a global R&D house per se. So you do some R&D for sake of local demand or local tenders or some opportunities, but you don't become an entity in R&D world in the world. But we have the capabilities. So for last 5 years, I'm into capacity building. I'm into Ministry of Skill Development. We are looking towards the talent, and I see huge potential for India to catch up. What we having all the potential not able to catch up, and we'll discuss those aspects, how to catch up this. And the opportunity is pretty big. So next slide. Yeah, we have formed out of 5 or 6 electronic association. You must be knowing all of them. ELSINA, CMA, ISA, ELCOMA, IPCA, LEDMA, and MET. These are the associations who have formed our company. We have to get together to facilitate world-class ecosystem for industry-oriented skill development in electronic sector. This is the vision with which we got together into this. And this company was established with a government grant about 3-4 crores in 2013-14. And my equity partners, this association contributed only 50 lakhs towards it. It's a non-profit making company. So we have an objective to serve the industries and the industry members, their requirement of human resources or capacity building, and human side is our requirement. We look at only skilling and capacity building. Skilling and capacity building is our job. Next slide, sir. These are the big people who are part of my governing council, and these are my knowledge partner. I work with so many of international knowledge partner or companies to get my knowledge base right. And I have plenty of industry partners. They're very few, they're listed here, but I have a whole lot of things I will show you as I'm moving upwards. Next slide, sir. This is the ecosystem in which what we do. We have a thing called National Skill Development Authority. Then there is a National Skill Development Corporation. Both of these are reporting to Ministry of Skill Development. I also report to Ministry of Skill Development. I am one vertical out of NSDC, which has got 37 verticals, and electronics is one vertical. In ICT space, we have 3 verticals. One is telecom, one is electronics, and one is IT and IT-enabled services, which is run by NASSCOM. So we are 3 sector skill council in ICT. We do this. Our prime job is National Occupational Standards, qualification pack, and standard curriculum. We define the curriculum where government spends all the money on skilling. Next slide, sir. Anybody can switch off your audio so that we don't get disturbance.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Roles and responsibility wise, what we do is we do a labor market information system. This is how we work. We're very structured. We work in a particular way. I'll just explain, because everybody talks about this in different ways, but we work in a very scientific way. What we do is we first create a labor market information system, which gives us an understanding of the labor market in terms of gaps, jobs, requirements, profiles, things like that. Then basis of that, we create a thing called qualification pack. Qualification pack is basically a document which defines what should the boy or a girl learn to deliver the job expectations or a job profile expectations, how he should be qualified, both in terms of theory and practical knowledge. Then we create a document called National Occupational Standards. As the jobs evolve in a particular industry or industry segment, we try to map all the jobs and try to create an occupational map. We also do industry representative NOS committee meetings, that is National Occupational Standard Committee meetings, are all headed by industry veterans who guide us. We do not take any academician into any credit. We take them only for delivery side if it is required, but while building our course, curriculum, content, we only consult industry. Then what we do is standardize the affiliation process and accreditation process for a training partner and assessment partner. Because we are a centralized body, just with less than 40 people I work, but we have 4,000 training center. When I'll show you my slide, you'll see we do affiliate them. We have very structured process. Assessment partner also we affiliate. Across the country, I do assessment in just about 10 days notice. And we do training of the trainers. Faculty development training across the country we do. We also do assessment and certification. After doing all this capacity building, which is required on the ground for training and assessment, we also do assessment and certification on ground. We approve question banks, assessor from industry. We ensure very fair assessment by remotely monitoring them. Then we do certification of local and few global certification also I do. Then we do a lot of industry representation through GC members, through associate members, subject matter experts, special interest groups, and we do a lot of demand aggregation as per SSC version 2.0, where we are supposed to be aggregating demand for a particular sector. Right now, you won't believe, in COVID period itself, I have nearly 40,000 job requirement from Wistron, one company which makes phone for Apple in Bangalore. And I have a Rising Star, one company in Foxconn, who is making phones in C-City. I have a requirement of 70,000 jobs with me only for mobile phone manufacturing, beyond the all ordinary jobs which you get. Thank you. Next slide, sir. These are all our activities. You can just scan through it. We do like 9 industry subsector, demand aggregation, accreditation. We do micro entrepreneurship, CSR, livelihood projects as well. We do electronic product design and ODM linkages. We do empower industry and knowledge partners. This is all related work we do towards what we do. We also operate few center of excellence and model training center across the country, just to get a feel of it ourselves. Next slide, sir. This is overall, you can see my achievements in last 5 years. We have done about 10 lakh trainings, out of which 4.93 lakhs people are placed. And we have 161 qualification pack. They are distinct job role oriented trainings. And subject matter experts, we have 200. Training partner, I have 250. We have 4,000 training centers. I have 3,200 certified assessors. I have 5 transnational QPs, which are aligned to international standards. I have 13 center of excellence as of today. What is this we do with respect to industry engagement is, we do NOS committee, we do skill gap analysis, we do occupational map for development, we do qualification pack for development, we do content development, we do subject matter experts and training of the trainers. Then services we offer by virtue of all this thing, we give a short-term training. Why we call short-term training? We never touch a training which is beyond 400 or 500 hours. It goes to ITI or diploma or formal education system. What we do is all industry oriented training, where industry wants to induct people and gives us a syllabus or a curriculum or a expectation of a training, which is typically below 400 or 500 hours is what we take care. And we do breach course and certification. We do model training centers. We do apprenticeship. We do campus engagement. And we also do job portal or demand aggregations. Next slide, sir. These are my subsectors, just for your understanding. Semiconductor and component, industrial automation, e-mobility, EMS, PCB design and manufacturing, consumer electronics and IT hardware, communication and broadcasting, security and surveillance, solar and LED. Next slide, sir. These are the subsector-wise employment potential. This is the current employment. It totals to around 55 lakhs today, and we expect in 5 years, this will go to about 90 lakhs. This is on basis of some research we have done in these 9 areas, which we have these subsectors. Next slide. Next one. Okay. This, no, previous one. No, sir. Yes, stay here. So this is very interesting. If you look at the 4 types of job people do, starting from R&D, design, test and validation is the highest paid job where highest value add is there. But we have 2 less people working there. And manufacturing, that is EMS or machine-oriented robot-based EMS, also next type of job. The third type of job people do is sales or marketing. The last job people do is services. Today, India is dominated with a lot of consumer electronics items. All the jobs are in service sector. They're either towards installation, repair or maintenance. So you can see the job profile of today 57 lakh people, 35 lakhs people are working only in service sector. Only 2 lakh people are working in R&D, design, test and validation. Only 12 lakh people are working in manufacturing. Only 8 lakh people are working in sales and marketing. We expect this scenario to change in 4 or 5 years for the sake of the country. We expect the design to multiply 5 times. The people in design side should multiply, because what is happening is today a lot of R&D centers or product development centers have come up in Hyderabad and Bangalore through MNCs. They have not come directly through Indian companies. They have come through MNC. This is what we are discussing today. We have built country capacity of talents and high-end talent. Even chip design we are doing in Bangalore, but they are not doing for us. They are doing for Intel. They are doing for Qualcomm. They are doing for somebody. But they are using our youth in the country. So countries got now everything in place. Now we need some entrepreneurial mind or
I think we have lost your.
Yeah, he'll come.
We have lost some connect.
He'll come. I think he's got dropped.
Some problem.
Would you like to check with him,
I will talk to him.
please?
Hello, Satya ji. Satya ji, unmute, please.
I was late in another call, and 3:30 again I have to switch over to another call. I especially came to see my friend NKMG. We have worked together in these sector skill councils. So it is very nice, and he's a great presenter, as you could have made out by now.
Our friends are like that only, Satya ji. But we can keep complimenting our friends. They are all great people. We are lucky.
No, NKM is really great, actually, really great in everything, and especially on the electronic side, Make in India side, and skill development. All 3 are his great forte.
Yeah, Mr. Ji, will you please check if he's there?
Yeah. I have just dialed his number.
Yeah.
He's there.
So till that time, maybe all the participants, if you have any questions, you please write the questions in the chat box.
Yeah.
So that as soon as the presentation gets over, we're able to address those questions to Mr. Mohapatra.
The presentation is very crisp. It's very crisp and to the point.
Yes. In
That
fact,
is what,
this was the most.
that is what Satya ji means, that this gentleman has very good presentation skills. So I think it's,
Yeah, exactly. And his council developed that curriculum, which is called NOS, National Occupational Standard, for my broadband EVLE. These ladies which run our hotspot, they are trained by a curriculum developed and approved by this ESSCI, actually.
okay.
Taji, if you can please tell us something more about the National Occupation Standard, that will be helpful. While Mr. Mohapatra joins.
Till NKM comes. Actually, National Occupational Standard basically is a government regulation which actually.
I was mute by chance.
Oh,
okay,
welcome.
Okay, great.
Welcome back.
Sorry.
NKM, yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome back, NKM ji.
Thank you, Ji Gupta ji. Sir, then this is the sector. And you
So Mohapatra ji, did you see there was a backdoor entry? While you were mute, we got another guy. Please. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, I'm very sorry I was mute for a while, but I was listening to everything.
Yeah,
okay.
Please. Yeah.
I was so sorry. The uniqueness of this sector is today we are seeing electronics is spreading everywhere across every other sector as well. And there is a huge potential for growth and local manufacturing opportunity. There is large manpower in service sector. And we are seeing clearly the emerging sector like automation, energy efficiency, electronic manufacturing as a service, design-led manufacturing, e-mobility, digitization, smart city, IoT, 3D printing. This is just limited opportunity. You can see beyond this. There are connected cars. We are talking about so many things. Anything and everything we talk today, we need electronics. Next slide, sir.
Sure.
These are job roles. I will not bore with you. I have 160 such job roles. They are distinct job roles. It has a unique number. It has a identification in which sector the job is and which NSQF level I operate. This is my template. So I'm just showing you a thing, and you can read few of the jobs like weekend place assembly operator, through assembly operator, field engineer, RSCW, DTH set-top box installation, anything and everything in electronics. I have a job role for that, where a person can be trained in 2-3 months of training for a particular job. Next. This is many government schemes we participate. Even though I am part of Ministry of Skill Development, we have a program within Ministry of Electronics called the SDM Capacity Building. There also we participate. And there is a Ministry of Rural Development program called Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Kaushal Yojana. Also we participate. Because we create the modules, we are in demand in every government scheme programs. There are government schemes running in Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. It is running in Ministry of Rural Development. So it is there everywhere. But we, because we are creator of the training course, module, materials and everything, we are in demand almost everywhere. Next. These are the 6 association, and you can see my industry members. I don't have to tell you because you guys are from industry, you understand the industry. But this is just shows typically how each of these industry members bring a richness of this industry, connect to us, and we are able to consult them and build everything which is for the sake of the industry again. Thank you. Next slide.
Why are some of them in bold?
But just to highlight that they are big companies, you know, this
Okay.
presentation I have given to ministers. There are 8 ministers who are taking this presentation. They will not read everything. So I made those big companies bold.
Now, but won't IBM be bigger than Intel?
No. Intel makes the chipsets, and Intel is fundamentally bigger. IBM into only a cloud business right now. They're much smaller as a company.
Fair enough. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, good.
Go back. So this is the slide which is most interesting. What happens in country, we know we have been crying from 2008, 9, 5. I know I've been going through everything. Every day we used to cry our imports are more than our local production. But see in 2015 and 16 what happened. By chance or by solid efforts of an electronic policy which came in 2012. There was a NEP in 2012. The next NEP has come after 7 years in 2019. So this national electronics policy tries to make correction to our mistakes or our habits to force or demand local manufacturing to come up to control imports. Everybody understands import is very bad for electronics. So first time we crossed, and after we crossed, we are doing pretty good in last 4 years. And you can see right side, mobile devices from $2.9 billion, we came to $24.3 billion within 1.5 or 2 years. So there is a cumulative growth everywhere, and the other everything in electronics is growing, but mobile devices have grown like 10x. And you can see easily the exports have also increased from 17-18 to 18-19. There is a 38% year-to-year export growth. And this particular slide is picked up from Ministry of Electronics data, and it's not my data, but it's a country's data, which speaks very, very positive about the possibilities of electronics. And the growth will continue to be there, and it will be very appropriate for us to take advantage of this growth and participate in this to the extent we can participate. Next. This shows the growth so far. As I told you, mobile phone has witnessed a major growth, and big players like Apple, Samsung, Oppo have started their production in India. Now we are looking at 5G as a technology. It will have a lot of demands. And this T-Hub partners with MeitY, and there are a few newses here and there. Jio is trying to do so much in broadband connections. So the overall thing is looking very, very interesting, and the growth is tremendous right now. Next. There's a few ideas to revive the sector, what the government has done. It's not my idea, it's a government idea. We work with the government quite a bit on policy and thinking about how to do it. Recently, government has launched 3 policies. One is called PLI, one is called SPEC, one is called EMC 2.0. If any of you are in electronics, will be knowing these 3 policies. They are their websites, and each one of them has a potential. I'll be discussing them one by one. And also, there are major portion of investment coming in opportunities under Digital India through companies like Google, Microsoft, Qualcomm, Oracle, and things like that. They also have huge commitment. Google has committed $10 billion to India in a program called Digital India. So those money will be spent here. Companies will be developed here. They also have not to push their product because they don't have any product. Google is a good company. They go anywhere, they spend the money, they commit for sake of government, but they try to develop everything locally. Similarly, we want to promote export of Indian electronic product manufacturing companies and the capacity building across the globe. This is the way we feel the economy can be revived. Next. Sir, I will tell you, my slides are all manpower centric. They're not business centric in terms of dollars of money if you talk, but I have talked one time the overall growth strategy and problems. But from this manpower perspective, you can easily make out that this can lead to what kind of human capacity utilization, what kind of opportunity in the country. Because I work mostly on manpower side. So all my slides are showing opportunity of manpower. They're actually opportunities for growth and business as well. Manpower is not required without any requirement of business. So mobile phone and accessories have 2 requirements. One is in core design, we need people, or we need people in test and validation. In 2022, the requirement is so big. We need 56,000 people in core design, and we need 224,000 people in test and validation. Similarly, in IT hardware also people are required. In networking, connectivity also people are required. Security, surveillance also people are required. LED, solar also people are required. All these areas we have not done too great, except mobile phone has done something good, but it has been very robust. We are seeing a lot of mobile phone manufacturing. Now China shifting to India is also bringing a lot of new mobile phone guys coming to India. So overall, the electronics, you will not believe, the consumer electronics, this air conditioning, if I tell you, the penetration in my country is today only 10%. China, the penetration of air conditioning is 33%. In US and any other country you go, penetration is beyond 50%. So India, the middle class is catching up. It is catching up a bit slow, but we will reach to that figure. So in electronics, any area and every area, whether it is television or it is air conditioning or refrigerators or any appliances, we are not seeing less than 20% growth anywhere. And it is not today, it is there for last 10 years. And it is probably going to be there for coming 10 years as well. So that is why electronics is so interesting. This is for R&D, design and test and validation, these kind of people. So anybody, companies who are interested to get into this space, we can discuss, we can see, and you can see so many companies who are already in that space, but they need more companies to come into this. I will talk about this MSME concept a little later, but you just have to generally feel how the market is demanding more and more from electronics industry. Next slide. In manufacturing side also, there is a huge demand for about mobile phone. There is 3.5 lakhs, IT hardware 1.5 lakhs, networking, connecting. These are the manufacturing manpower requirement for the entire sector I have highlighted. There are plenty of people required everywhere. Next. Sales and marketing, moderate people are required because some are moving towards e-sales. So the manpower in sales and marketing will not increase to the extent it will increase everywhere else. Next. Services. This area is very robust, but we still need more people because more products are coming. So more service. Total about job creation expected here is about 15 lakhs. Next. Now, idea to revive the sector. The new scheme beyond National Policy Electronics 2019, that is PLI, SPEC, CMC. These are actually the ideas to boost the growth. This is the first time the Department of Electronics has created a policy which is towards value add. So far in last 40-50 years in our country, we used to have all policies which are investment based. They were not towards the value add. So we are losing out in electronics. We are having a lot of investment where value add was less than 7%, 8%, 10%. I will import all the components. I'll only put the screwdriver and sell the phone or computer here. Then what is the local value add? Local value add is only 8%, 9%, 7%. So now government is trying to incentivize the value add. If you make a project and your value add is more, you get more incentive. If your value add is less, you get less incentive. So this project and policy which has come is really good, and it has been well thought for last 2-3 years. And This is now giving results. Today, 45,000 crores applications have come for incentive of 45,000 crores. And that incentive is hardly some 6%. And the 6% incentive, such big projects are coming and many big players are applying to the country. And what is happening in strategic and defense electronics is also interesting. Government is privatizing them and a lot of industries are coming from Tata, Reliance. Many private players are getting into defense and aerospace areas as well. So growing domestic demand for mobile phone IT hardware, we are talking from a perspective of consumer electronics and this security, surveillance, cameras, this kind of products. But that side also there is a huge demand, a very expensive product. And very important to this ecosystem is Startup India. We need companies or entrepreneurs to start up a new venture, a new opportunity, or create a new business model and start the work. So there is an Electropreneur Park which is already doing good in Delhi, and we have opened one in Bhubaneswar. This is part of Ministry of Electronics, and both of them are doing good to build up startups. We give 2 years time for any startup ideas to use a government facility free of cost. In 2 years, he graduates to a VC funding and he works off. This is how the scheme works. Anybody can ask question, I can give further answer on this. And we also want to skill youth in electronic design, test and validation, because I explained this is the job which creates IPRs. This is the job which creates future of the country. This is the job which creates 40-45% margin for a company who gets involved in this activity. So these areas, if more people are utilized, they can be utilized. And today it is become a global scenario for jobs. I could be having a R&D lab in Hyderabad, could be working for a customer in Taiwan. It is possible. So we don't have to think the companies have to come here. We can just have a talent pool and build a company and do work and get clients from America or get clients from Taiwan or get clients from Korea. We can service them. So capacity building for industries focus on future skill like Industry 4.0, robots, IoT, digital factory, AR, VR, everything. And very consistent demand for consumer electronics, which is visible beyond 5 years to me without any confusion. Next, sir. So these are the 3 schemes I talked about. Each one of these schemes, you can see they talk about 8 lakh jobs, 6 lakhs jobs, 10 lakhs jobs. So total about they talk about 24 lakhs jobs. The first one is for large scale mobile manufacturing. The second one is for domestic electronic supply chain of components. This is where MSMEs can play a big role. The big time manufacturing is happening, but the supply chain is not getting controlled within India today. So small components, like when we used to have mobile phone, we used to have a charger also being imported with a mobile phone. Now from the time a charger factory has come up in Chennai, now charger has gone to a negative list in electronics. Ministry of Electronics, if a local entrepreneur comes or local industry comes and manufacture any item and convince the government this item is available, immediately and smartly, the government is willing to put it to a negative list. So you manufacturing item will give you the market and imports will be stopped. We want people to get into this. So that's why there is a scheme for manufacturing components and semiconductor which goes into this. Some modules are there, which are still being imported. We want those small industries to come and make into this, look into the supply chain and create your opportunities around the supply chain. Plus in electronic manufacturing cluster, there is a scheme, large manufacturing value chain components can be done, and it's also picking up pretty well. Next. This is the MSME booster. What I feel is government has done a smart thing by saying MSME to include startups or startups to be considered as MSME. This has actually helped either way. Earlier, what used to happen, MSME means they used to be having some relationship. The way I know MSME is they are feeder to a PSU or a bigger unit. They were not having their own existence. But MSME by through a startup model can come with a new idea. You don't have to always work on somebody's drawing to outsourced manufacturing a little bit. You can be also creative. So a MSME can also be creating products. MSME can also be creating values and also creating their own positioning in the market. So this is the way we feel, and we feel the MSME clusters, there are some challenges. We need to do some common facility for them. And we are talking to MSME ministry also. What there should be done is the MSME ministry should have common facility centers where environmental testing, rapid prototyping, PCB layout and design, export certification, EMI, EMC testing, this kind of facilities should be made available by government, and MSME industries can put their energy into their business or their R&D or their thinking or their innovations. And these are routine matters. They can come and get it as a service from people like us or some government can authorize some agency to operate these facilities. This is how MSME can get a boost. Otherwise, MSME will be always struggling to maintain good people, and to make so much of investment in product qualification and verification is very expensive. And without developing a product, you don't make a future in life. Next. So this is my idea about Common Facility Center. We are talking to government. Government is showing a lot of interest. If it is allowed in few MSME clusters, we will be able to build this. Doing all this facilities for sake of MSME, and we will provide it as a service is our idea. Next, sir. This is my job portal where I already told you we do placement every day. For current demand, I have Wistron, Apple, and Foxconn Rising Star, about 80,000 jobs. And many companies work with us. And we have not done bad in COVID period as well. We have been continuing to work. But fortunately, electronics is always in demand, and a lot of manufacturing shifting to India. So it's not been bad so far. Next. These are ideas to generate employment. Micro entrepreneurship is one idea. Remote-based customer care services is some ideas. These are employment-based things. I have almost finished my presentation. We can get into some discussion now. Next slide, sir. I think I finished. These are some value addition. This is one point I will tell you, which is very important. What is happening is in our country, we somehow talk about jobs, placements, and recruitment, but we don't care about the human capacity utilization and what value creation is there. Like, I'll give you one example. Most of the colleges, if you see today, the best thing people study is 80-90% students or a college takes admission in computer science, IT, or electronics. But when they pass out, they go for a very ordinary job in Tech Mahindra or Infosys, where they are working like what can be easily done by a BCA or a MCA. We don't need engineers to get into Infosys to do that kind of job what they're doing. So we are not using engineers as engineers. So we are not creating their value. Engineers are used as engineers only in other countries, not in our country, particularly in US and all. They study, they're used as engineers. They're not used as this kind of people. So we are underutilizing our people. It's been our weakness because our education system is good, our youth is good, our study is good, but our utilization of people is bad. So we have to see productivity of our people. They will only come if we get into design-led manufacturing. So we are trying to build some world skill academies here, which will have benchmarking with world standards in competency. Plus, we want to create India as a global talent hub. I'm talking to Taiwan and a few other countries. Why can't we take their R&D projects and do it in India so we become their R&D brain, and they can market the product. They have capability to market the product. Let anybody market the product, but my brains can create the product. So we can think that way. And we want to start up support, mentor, and accelerator programs so that we can do things. And this is one company, VVDN in Manesar. This is one of the best growing company right now. It innovates products. And next slide. This is okay. This is finished. Now I am open for discussion. You can switch off this presentation.
Atul, can you rewind to the third last slide, please?
Yes, sir.
Just a moment.
Yeah, this one, and next one. Next, yeah. Sir, what do you mean? What do you mean by remote? Sorry, micro entrepreneurship. Achha, okay, now I can read it. Now
what is happening? What is happening, sir? In this scenario today, what we are seeing earlier, there used to be service jobs. Now, service jobs, 2-3 things have happened in front of our eyes, like Ola, Uber driver, and Swiggy people who are driving on the road. People don't want to do a 9-to-5 job. People want to have a skill set to do a job, but they will declare themselves as an entrepreneur. They will work as of their own choice, like electrician, plumber, or that Ola, Uber driver. That is called micro entrepreneurship. You create an opportunity for people to earn a livelihood without working on a 9-to-5 job. It's called micro entrepreneurship.
Okay. Okay, I understand, sir.
We have got Shripat Kulkarni ji from Nasik. He has put a question. Shripat ji, are you here? Shripat Kulkarni ji?
Yeah.
So
Sir,
I wish you give.
Yeah. My question was specifically for micro enterprises.
Yes.
And opportunities, wherein electronics being a electronic field, there are many things which are mechanical kind of things, electrical kind of things, basic
Yes.
business. Those assemblies and programming, etc., and going for IO system and by digital and binary decoding system, that will happen in electronic field. But are there any opportunities which can be assigned for mechanical field, electrical field, and then the probably assembly of that thing will be done in one particular thing? This way, can we develop micro enterprises wherein
I will not say
there is no
in-
exposure of electronics, there is no exposure of electronics, but the exposure of mechanical and electrical can be maybe roped in the requirement.
So I will tell you a few things. It's very interesting for you to know. Today, in a mobile manufacturing company, the only thing where lot of emphasis is given is mechanical. It is not electronics. It is not the PCB which will work. It will anyway work. PCB will give you the features. It will give you everything. But the packaging, how the phone will look, how the phone will get handled, how the phone will drop and not break. So this mechanical enclosures have become very important. The plastics have become very important. And to reduce the size, the packaging has become very important. So as you say, packaging is becoming important. Packaging is not electronics at all. But packaging is becoming more and more important. I see big electronics companies making huge investment into packaging. Like in a remote, we operate our TVs and all. If I visit a remote manufacturing company in Noida, his tools, dies, mechanical investment is so big, even though he's making an electronic product. So today, the electronics design houses are realizing the importance of basic mechanical engineering or tools, dies, and all these kinds of things. So it is becoming very interdisciplinary. It is no more anything is independent. Everything is now combined.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. So-
Is there any listing of such opportunities available? And can we just through Government of India, of course, or through the organization Section 8 companies like you, be broadcasted that come one, come all, and supply this to this company?
No, sir, I will tell you, I can show you opportunity within electronics companies where plastics, molding, mechanical, diploma holders are required in quantities which you can't believe. Because earlier they were outsourced. Now people are trying to do everything in-house. So it is not that a mechanical company will supply something to an electronic company. The electronic company also want to have mechanical resources within the electronic company. That is how it is now. You can open a washing machine, see how many mechanical items are there. But by chance it is called an electronic product.
Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
all the electronics, if you see, it is all mechanical.
There are so many movement items. There is a motor, there is this, there is this.
For that matter.
So many items are there.
Only electronic PCB is there, so that makes the that it is an electronic.
Yes.
And, okay, Atulji has raised hand. Atulji wants to say something.
Yeah, Mahapatra Saab, thanks a lot for such a crisp and well-directed presentation, I would say.
Thank you,
Right.
sir.
So definitely, most of us would not have the kind of insights that you've given. And definitely, when you put the data together, it gives a different story altogether. Okay.
Yes.
On top of it, my question is, India saw a lot of success in the service industry.
Yes.
So right now, our mindset also is that of service. You gave the example of an Infosys or a TCS. They are as good as Navratnas, okay?
Correct.
And
Correct.
they are service companies. We would
Correct.
not have a company 1/10 their size, which is a product company.
Correct.
All right. So what is it that we can do? I'm not talking about what the government is doing. I'm saying what is it that we as business owners can do such that we shift towards products?
Yeah, I will tell you. First is, the toughest part is we can create product, but selling a product is the toughest thing. See, all brains can create a product. You are an engineer, I'm an engineer, you and me can probably create a product. If we conceive a product, we can sit down and create a product. But the question is, to succeed with that product, you have to succeed in a marketplace where there is a lot of open competition going on all the time. So creating a product is different. To succeed in a market and selling the product is different. So there are two ways to work on this. As our friends are gaining experience working in MNCs towards developing products for Cisco's or Intel's or for Qualcomm's, so we are building country's capacity. Today's speech, what we did in the morning today is we said, now government should incentivize these brains to have courage to come out of that MNC culture or MNC comfort zone of fat salaries to create their own companies. It can be achieved. This is one way. The other way is, if you just look at the IT companies in the past, you would have seen all the companies. The company which came last is Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra has taken the route of products, engineering services into product. It is not just labor class service. It is not just housekeeping service. Most of the IT companies, they started only doing plain housekeeping service without any creativity. So when you do plain housekeeping service, you send 5 people to this telecom client, you send 10 people to this banking client, you send people for different clients. The IT services are getting into every sector of industry, whether it's transportation or it's telecom or it's banking, but you never created a value of you doing anything.
Yeah,
Even
that was called body shopping.
Body shopping, it's, I will call it housekeeping.
Yeah,
इसमें कोई वैल्यू वर्ड नहीं है, इतने आदमी चाहिए भेजता, आप कोई मेड भेज रहा है, आपने एक आईटी सर्विसेज का आदमी भेज दिया, वो आईटी का मेड है, आप सोचिए, तो ऐसे हो गया काम, इससे लोगों का रेवेन्यू मिल गया और गवर्नमेंट को बोला कि इतना रेवेन्यू हमने ले आया। अभी भी बैंगलोर वाला बोलता है मैं एक्सपोर्ट करता हूँ, क्या एक्सपोर्ट करता है? मैनपावर एक्सपोर्ट करके पैसा लाता है। तो इंडोनेशिया ऑल्सो एक्सपोर्ट लेबर टू हांगकांग एंड सिंगापुर एज वुमेन लेबर, दे ऑल्सो सो एक्सपोर्ट। हमको वैसा एक्सपोर्ट नहीं करना है, हमें अपना बुद्धि एक्सपोर्ट करना है। नाउ व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग इज डू डिजाइन आउटसोर्सिंग, आउटसोर्सिंग ऑफ मैनपावर भूल जाइए, अपना नॉलेज इधर है, हम नॉलेज आउटसोर्सिंग करेंगे तो हमारी लाइफ बदलेगी। उसमें टीसीएस थोड़ी बहुत काम स्टार्ट कर चुका है, टेक महिंद्रा इज कैचिंग अप, अदर्स विल आल्सो कैच अप, एचसीएल इज आल्सो डूइंग इनटू इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज। जिसमें आप बुद्धि लगाएंगे उसमें आपकी वैल्यू क्रिएशन होगा।
इसमें इफ वी वुड सी two places come to my mind, 3 places, in fact 2 only, Bangalore and Pune. Okay, these were the places.
नहीं, हैदराबाद में भी काम हो रहा है, हैदराबाद में हो रहा है।
चलो हैदराबाद भी ले लेते हैं, मान लेते हैं उसमें, ठीक है ना। Now these are 3 places जहां से पहले, so 3 of these places are the ones which have given maximum outsourcing of manpower to United States.
States or even Europe they have sent.
And many of those people who have stayed there, they have come back and they've started setting up shop in India. Correct. तो जो आप brain की बात कर रहे थे, but what has happened is, as you very rightly said, all these are essentially exporting to some parent company sitting elsewhere. A Qualcomm will have an office in Bangalore and servicing their global clients, or an Oracle having an office at this Marathalli in Bangalore. They are doing it for elsewhere, right? What has happened is our own boutique services have not yet taken off. There was a lot of emphasis and effort in this direction. Organizations like CDAC or STPI or NCST, these were the kind of organizations which were set up probably with a similar mindset, and somewhere in the hardware race we lost it. What would you say on that?
Sir, Abhi, I can only say this coming 10 years, what software has done for the country in 20-30 years, the hardware industry will do it for the country in 10 years. We have to believe in ourselves, and we are seeing enough ingredients, we are seeing enough talents, we have seen enough capacity. It is only orientation. And उसके लिए government की थोड़ी जरूरत होगी और हम लोग की थोड़ी जरूरत होगी. And we have to believe in ourselves.
See, I am a firm believer that
10 साल में country बदलेगा.
See, I am a firm believer that government, जिसकी मर्जी government रहे, लाल पीली काली, they have never ever said no to the common man. There may be delays, ठीक है? Now coming to this, for a very long time we did not have chip manufacturers in India. Even today, most of the chipsets, they come from abroad. Okay, you were giving the example of the chargers. So I would like to give an example that somebody who had worked in Taiwan, he gave the example of Foxconn. So
Correct.
Foxconn जो है वो assembly कैसे करता था? I mean, even today they would be using the same model. They would send their chipsets and the crimped wires to panwalas over there. These panwalas would put the crimping together, and the cycle would come back to the factory, tested, and then deployed. So basically, this was a classic example of micro entrepreneurs being created out of traditional businesses who are sitting in front of a television and just putting those crimps together, and a very menial job that is being done outsourced, and more value is being created out of it. Maybe these are the kind of things that we need to internalize and start using it.
सर ये सारे काम तो हम कर लेंगे, इसमें कोई बड़ी चीज नहीं है। तिरुपुर में जो कपड़े की इंडस्ट्री में हो रहा है, वैसे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंडस्ट्री में वी-गार्ड ने भी किया था स्टेबलाइजर में। वो इशू नहीं है। इशू क्या होता है, जब हम डिजाइन को ओन नहीं करते। फॉक्सकॉन भी जब उसके पास अपनी डिजाइन नहीं होता है, एप्पल का फोन बनाता है, $350 तो एप्पल ही ले जाता है, उसको करीब $40 ही मिलता है एक फोन में। तो इशू क्या होता है, हाउ डू यू क्रिएट वैल्यू फॉर योरसेल्फ। हमें डिजाइन करना है, हमारे डिजाइन को बेचना है। सी डॉट ने अच्छे काम स्टार्ट किया था, वो श्याम पेट्रोडा जी कहीं खिसक गए, वो सी डॉट थोड़ी बंद हो गया, वो मिश्रा जी को भी सब कुछ पता है। बट क्वेश्चन इज, जब तक हम अपना इंडिजिनस डिजाइन और इंडिजिनस आईपीआर क्रिएट नहीं करेंगे, हम वैल्यू क्रिएशन नहीं कर पाएंगे ओनली बाय मैन्युफैक्चरिंग।
यस,
मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में बुद्धि लगाने के बहुत आइडिया है, हमें आईपीआर तो क्रिएट करने ही पड़ेंगे।
आईपीआर क्रिएट करना ही पड़ेगा और उसके ऊपर में हमें काम करना ही पड़ेगा। टुडे इट हैज गॉट द रियल वैल्यू। वी हैव गॉट अ फ्रेंड फ्रॉम सिडनी, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, Mr. Peter DeCosta. He would like to ask question. Mr.
Yes,
Peter, you are here?
Yes, I am here. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can hear you.
Hello, Mr. Mohapatra. Loved your speech. It was wonderful. Yeah. My question, I've got a couple of questions which I'm just going to tie up in one question. My first one is, we have got a lot of engineering colleges. I myself is an engineer, and I'm in settled in Sydney from last 10 years. We produce so much of engineers every year. Like, you can say, like, the population of and the entire Australia is just little than Mumbai, and Mumbai has got so many engineering, private, public, as well as like IITs and all over India. What is why is the talent moving out of India? Like, I'm to be blamed as well. Why is this talent not being captured in India and put to good use?
Yeah, I can
what
tell you.
would make what will make an engineer be within an Indian person stay in
I will
India
answer.
itself?
This is a good
My
question. I
second-
can answer. Yeah.
My second one
question.
is, there is a lot of opportunities. Like, China is trying to have trade wars with everyone, Australia and everywhere. Like, there's a potential of all this trade coming towards India. I myself have seen a couple of years back, there was no much coverage in Australia related to Indian news. But of late, I'm seeing heaps of Indian news being captured on Australian media. That shows a keen interest of Australian coming towards India as a market, right? What would be done, or why can't, like, India itself become a sort of a brand image when everyone knows that like, Indians are recognized as an IT experts or an electronic sort of like, mogul sort of a thing. So what would make everything hold like, or Indian known as a brand image? Why can't India produce something like, maybe Apple or Samsung or anything of that level?
Yeah, I can answer both the questions. Good questions. So engineers, I will tell you the real challenge in engineer is something difficult. The colleges like IITs and NITs, typically good colleges which have good faculty, good research and good background, and they produce good students. They are very few. And the colleges which produce lakhs and lakhs of engineers, there are too many across the country. So what happens in those colleges, they have zero ambition rather than just producing a child, either with capitation fee like Karnataka and Andhra, it is rampant. They take a child, run him through a course, or some VITs and Manipals have made good money. They do not look at the child's career. They look at just passing the child through an education system and fixing him to a job in the market. Like in Bhubaneswar, one college came called KIIT. Once I went there, they said we get employment 140%, 130%. What it means, a person gets more than one job. So what it means is nothing, but what is the quality of jobs? My issue is we did not create correct utilization of our engineering capacity which we are building. And the good ones, IITs and NITs, produced engineers which were just running out of the country because there were no utilization within the country which is good enough for their aspiration levels. So the low aspiration levels are misutilized or underutilized, and high aspiration people are flying out of the country to the rest of the countries for better utilization and better valuation of them rather than being undervalued in India. Today, India good engineer also wants to become an IAS officer because he doesn't see good opportunity as an engineer. In IAS, in US, the guy who does engineering or does PhD doesn't want to become an administrator at all in his life. But why do we have this kind of stigmas in India? It is because our value as an engineer is not created good enough. Our utilizations are not good enough. But now the scenario is changing. In last 10 years or 15 years, lot of companies have come to India. You will not believe today what is happening. There are interviews happening in US. People have been posting in India, like Microsoft does it, Intel does it, Google does it. So the Indian bright students who have by chance gone to US for study, they are getting interviewed for openings in India or Southeast Asia. So they are coming back. They want that Microsoft job. They want that Google job. They're coming back. So these MNC cultures have changed the job expectations in India. The jobs are also become better in India and people are coming back. That handles the education side. And really, if you want the education thing to improve, we have to follow some country, either Taiwan or US in a standard. Like we have to make campus-based research, R&D, like it is happens in US. It is only happening in 5 IITs and maybe 10, 15 NITs is not enough. It has to happen across. Particularly the rich universities like Amity, VIT, Manipal or SRM, it has to happen. If it doesn't happen,
can I just interrupt?
Yes.
Can I just interrupt you for just interrupt you for this?
Yes.
You said that there are a lot of engineers who are coming back because they want to work back in Google or in Apple, IBM or whatever it is, right? They want to come back to India. I do love my country. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, what makes that talent come back? Is what attracts it. He has got a Google job in US, and what would attract in a mass coming back?
It's happening. What is attracting them is they get the same brand image and they get that company growth, progress, everything. I work for Intel. Every 10 years, I've put in Intel in US. If they're offering me a post in India, normally it is lucrative. Normally the facilities are good. Normally I make much more savings and I have a better quality of life here in terms of what I can do, I can't do in US. So many people are falling into this and coming back to India, and generally they are given a higher responsibility compared to their age, which they will not get sitting in US. The guy in HP in 40 years can become a vice president here, will not probably become a vice president in sitting in US. So they're given a promotion, they're given a position, and they're given a little higher authority. So they come to lead a business here, which is interesting, which they won't get it there.
Agreed.
It's an experience, you know.
Agreed.
So if you get a project opportunity to come for Google and lead one of their projects, because what they do, they bifurcate every project as a project and bring a GM to say you lead this project. So the guy will definitely lead a Microsoft project or a Google project or a Facebook project in India.
So having said that, once the talent comes back to India, all this top notches come back into India, would India be able to produce any good brands compared to global brands?
Those are growing. You see, the Google office will grow in India in coming 5 years. They have already started hiring people in R&D in Bangalore, and they are already hiring people. Facebook is hiring here. Everything is happening here right now. In coming 5 years, we have to also see if our talent can be appreciated so much by only those foreign companies. Why not by us? That's the thing what the government is now thinking, and forget the government. We have to think like that as citizens. So we strong people can form a company and we could be doing anything. And I can show you Indian companies who are coming up to that level right now. The visibility is there good now. Confidence is there. And there is no bad feeling to work in India today.
No, certainly. Appreciate. Thank you very much.
And the China push, I will tell you what is happening is the logical push from China, particularly electronics, I can comment. Non-electronics, I don't want to comment. Electronics only I know, so I'll comment. China, when they want to push out their manufacturing outside China, their first choice in their life became Vietnam. And it is not because of any technical reasons, it is because of their food and cultural habits matching areas. India made a mistake not to position Northeast as an alternative, rather push only Hyderabad and Bangalore. If we would have pushed Northeast as a strategy for China production to be shifted instead of Vietnam to India, we would have done it. Now what is happening? After 2 years, Vietnam is saturated. Now they are saying nothing more I can do in Vietnam. Where do I go next? So they are coming to India. But we have already lost 2 years, not pulling enough to India. And this I am speaking out of a data from a EMS company who supplies equipment globally. 10 times Vietnam has multiplied their manufacturing capability in last 2 years compared to India, multiplying only by 2 times. So this is the opportunity which we missed, but ultimately it will not be a big miss, because in supply chain, whatever loss the China will make, ultimately India will get. This is very sure. Whether you handle it nicely or smartly or lazily, it is up to us, but it is inevitable. The growth in supply chain will come to India.
Thank you very much. Love your response.
Awesome. Awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
Oh, fantastic. See, really, is there any question? Because we are already 7 minutes off the schedule.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is there any question from any of the audience?
I've got a very interesting question.
Okay,
Yes.
Atul ji, it's
So महापात्रा जी, ये खड़गपुर में वो खिलाते क्या थे आपको?
हमें?
हाँ.
सर नॉर्मल खाना, भात दाल सब्जी और कुछ नहीं.
लेकिन वो जो भात दाल है वो इतनी दूर तक और इतना अलग कैसे सोचता है? See, on a very serious note,
I'm a rare breed, sir. मेरे बैच का 24 आदमी यूएस चले गए, मैं गया नहीं.
Sir,
I could have easily gone.
Same is the case with most of us. I am a pre Y2K generation. So 1996 I passed out. Everybody who passed out from my batch landed in US. Okay. You talk about Hyderabad. So all the Gultus, sorry for if there is somebody here on the call right now, their second home is US. All right. So but there is something special about the people like you. So whether you worked in India or you worked elsewhere, you would have delivered this.
मेरा एक thinking है which is helping me in life. I have a simple thinking in life. मैंने अपना लाइफ R&D में स्टार्ट किया, भारत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक में स्टार्ट किया, मैंने इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन में काम किया, मैंने कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट में आज तक काम किया R&D में खुद अकेला भी मैंने प्रोडक्ट बना के इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूट प्रोडक्ट में काम किया. मैंने 15 साल R&D में काम किया, मैंने ये देख लिया R&D में हम सब कुछ कर सकते हैं. जब मैंने अकेला किया, मेरे को किसी ने सिखाया नहीं, तो मेरे को ये पता लग गया जब हम कर सकते हैं कोई भी कर सकता है. बट इशू क्या होता है, करने के बाद भी हमारी हालत कंट्री की खराब क्यों है? हमारी कंट्री में R&D कल्चर नहीं है. एक ब्रिलियंट आदमी कुछ कर देगा, उसका क्या मतलब है? कंट्री की कल्चर या इमेज नहीं बदल रही है, तो हम ऐसे ही रहेंगे. मेरे बॉस बोलते थे भारत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में इसको इंपोर्ट कर लेते थे, मैं उनके साथ लड़ के उसको डिजाइन करता था. मैं बोला व्हाट फॉर आई एम इन R&D, इंपोर्ट इज ऑलवेज इजी. तो बॉसेस फील से कि वो छोटे बच्चे से क्या डिजाइन करेंगे, ऐसे बाहर से करेंगे. तो मैंने एक डिसाइड कर लिया था, आई विल नॉट वर्क फॉर ए MNC एट ऑल, आई विल रादर वर्क फॉर, आई कॉल इंडियन MNC. मैंने इंडियन प्रोडक्ट जाके बाहर बेचा. मैंने 15 साल लाइफ में इंडियन डिजाइन प्रोडक्ट को श्रीलंका में, मिडिल ईस्ट में, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में बेचा अगेंस्ट कंपटीशन टू नोकिया, सीमेंस, एरिक्सन, हुआई. दिस इज माय पैशन. आई पोजीशन इंडियन कंपनीज इन इंटरनेशनल मार्केट. You give me anything, sir, I can position and come back. This is my passion, because we are nothing less than anybody else. I can prove it.
Sir, all respect for you, sir. I would love to. So this, I think, was a great concluding remark. And
Mr. Mato is here. He is our colleague from the DOT Ministry of Communication. Mr. Mato, would you like to say a few words? No, you have to unmute. Matoji, you have to unmute.
Yes, I am a today. Just I have joined today, so I will not ask any questions, sir. First, I am hearing, sir, what is going on. So that's all.
Right. Great.
Thank you, Mr. Raji.
Thank you. If there is no question, I hand over the. But let me before that, I give very special thanks to our friend Mahapatra ji. Great speaker. We have been hearing him in other forums also, but today it was the great presentation in between all our colleagues there. Because Mahapatra ji, for your information, I can say most of our members here are in the category of MSME. There are, of course, many big companies also, like Mr. Chima was there, but of course, maximum majority, 90% are MSME. So they were really interested, and perhaps after some time, many of the calls you have to face from our industrialists, our
कोई बात नहीं सर,
लोगों को एक मदद की जरूरत पड़ेगी और आपको करना पड़ेगा, और हम ऑफ कोर्स
सर ये नेशन बिल्डिंग एक्सरसाइज है, ऐसी किसी से अकेले से नहीं होगा, सब मिलने से काम होगा, नहीं तो अकेले से कभी नहीं होगा। मैंने अकेले बहुत कर लिया, आई हैव आल्सो डन लॉट ऑफ ब्रिलियंट वर्क, बट दैट डजंट गिव ग्रेट सैटिस्फैक्शन। एज अ कंट्री हमारी इमेज नहीं बदल रही है, उसको बदलनी है।
हाँ, मिश्रा जी अगर मुझे 2 मिनट देंगे तो मैं थोड़ा ई ग्रोथ के बारे में बताऊं तो शायद Mahapatra ji, so thank you for this. I find a partner, a friend in you. So आप प्लीज अपनी जो हाथ है हमारी पीठ पे रखिएगा, right? I'm obviously much younger and I'm one of that breed जिसके लिए IITs में जगह नहीं थी, alright? So became an electronics engineer, spent around 20 years. I spent around 8 years with CDAC. So I understand the electronics part of it. I also understand the part that a lot of it still comes from abroad. Having worked for around 20 years, we started with eGrowth around 6 years back with an intention to empower and enable small businesses. These businesses could come from any industry, manufacturing, trading, training, international business, any of them. Because the biggies, they've got enough resources, they are able to do things themselves. Small businesses, they need to come together and collaborate. और जैसे आपने कहा कि जी इंडिया में R&D का कल्चर मिसिंग था, इंडिया में कोलैबोरेशन का कल्चर भी मिसिंग है।
सर यही इशू है, R&D में भी हम जब तक कोलैबोरेट नहीं करेंगे ना, हम जीत नहीं पाएंगे।
बिल्कुल, तो वो अकेला चलो जो है वो इतना ज्यादा दिमाग में चला गया कि कुछ भी होगा तो अकेला चलो, इकट्ठे होके नहीं चलते। So that is one thing what we're trying to do. A conversation like yours, it is $1 million conversation.
Sir, I will, to further to your point, I'll tell you one thing, you just listen to me. Please, I have 2 friends in Bangalore. Each one of them make 100 crore turnover. And each one of them have clients in US. But जो जिस client को माल बेचते हैं, वो 100 crore का, 200 crore का, वो 1000 crore बनाता है, because he is a system integrator. मैंने इन दोनों भाई को बोला, भाई तुम दोनों में बुद्धि नहीं है क्या, इकट्ठा नहीं हो सकते हो क्या? तुमको कोई यूएस में इकट्ठा करके 5 गुना पैसा कमा रहा है? And both are my friends. So this is the tragedy, because हमारी जो एमएसएमई में 50 करोड़ 60 करोड़ में आदमी सोचते हैं कि हमारा बहुत काम हो गया, मैं इससे ज्यादा काम खुद नहीं कर सकता, और किसी को ट्रस्ट नहीं करते। हमारा ट्रस्ट फैक्टर इंडिया में इतना लो है बिकॉज ऑफ पुअर लीगल सिस्टम और व्हाटएवर। आई एम एनालाइजिंग व्हाई। इफ वी स्टार्ट ट्रस्टिंग ईच अदर, वी कैन डू वंडर्स। हमारी ट्रस्ट फैक्टर बहुत ही लो है। हम सोचते हैं अपने घर में 10 करोड़ बना के हम खुश रहें, कहीं दूसरे के साथ मिलके 100 करोड़ बनाने में हमें कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है।
सर आई कैन जस्ट से कि जी आई एम अनदर क्रेजी फेलो, इफ यू कैन प्लीज टेक मी इन योर बैंडवैगन, दैट विल बी अ ग्रेट हेल्प। एंड दैट बी
मेरे ये ऑब्जर्वेशन है, जितने टैलेंट है उनकी जो पोटेंशियल है उससे कम है। हैदराबाद में एक कंपनी है कॉल्ड आस्ट्रा माइक्रोवेव, उनका 800 करोड़ की 900 करोड़ की टर्नओवर है। उसको हमने असेस किया कि यू कैन गो अप टू 3000 करोड़। वो बोलता है मैं करना नहीं चाहता। क्यों नहीं करना चाहता? मैं मैनेज नहीं कर सकता। व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय सेइंग यू कैन नॉट मैनेज अ बिजनेस? बिकॉज सर ये जो कंपनी क्या होती है, हैंड हेल्ड और हैंड मैनेज्ड होते हैं, ये स्ट्रक्चरली वीक रहते हैं। बोलते हैं मैं इससे ज्यादा मैनेज नहीं कर सकता। तब सर हम ग्रोथ कहाँ से आएगी? तो ये भी लोगों से बदलनी पड़ेगी ना।
सर इट्स नॉट स्ट्रेंज। I delivered a business model last year. I proposed a business model last year called the leverage model, जिसका basic fundamental ये है कि any business can grow exponentially provided it is designed well. इसको डिजाइन करने के 4 एलिमेंट्स हैं. पहला एलिमेंट है फ्यूचर. सो ये जो 800 अस्ट्रा जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आपने कहा, इफ दे डोंट सी अ फ्यूचर यू कैन नेवर टेक देम देयर.
नहीं, ये सर जाना नहीं चाहते हैं. they are able to see it can grow, but they are saying जो 4 आदमी लेके कंपनी चला रहे हैं, उनको कंपनी चलाने में कुछ वीकनेस है, वो उसी तरीके से चला रहे हैं फिजिकली, जो बढ़ा नहीं सकते.
Absolutely. So first element is future.
It is the management style.
Absolutely. Second element is the lifeline, which is the product. Third element is the market, and fourth is the game plan, which is bringing it together. जहां पर कि ये organization style या business style आता है. So this is some again. I started it alone. I would love to have you as a partner, learn from you.
इस तरीके से अलग-अलग challenges है. कुछ market driven challenges है, कुछ नॉलेज ड्रिवन चैलेंजेस है, कुछ हमारी मैनेजमेंट स्टाइल की चैलेंजेस है. हमारे एमबीए ने हमको क्या सिखाया? बुद्धगिरी सिखाया, दूसरों का नौकरी करना सिखाया. कभी इन्होंने नहीं सिखाया कि हाउ टू सेट अप योर ओन एंटरप्राइज, व्हिच आई एम हैज टॉट यू व्हाट टू डू. दे हैव टॉट यू हाउ टू बिकम अ स्लेव इन मैनेजमेंट एनवायरनमेंट.
पहले सिविल सर्विसेज हुआ जिसमें कि सरकार की नौकरी, उसके बाद में किसी और की नौकरी. दैट इज एमबीए.
उसमें विजडम नहीं है. उस आईआईएम की नौकरी में कोई विजडम नहीं है. हाउ टू बिकम अ कॉग इन द व्हील. There is no wisdom. How to set up an enterprise?
This is real.
Sir, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So given in that. Atul ji, take a couple of minutes and tell about our e-growth before.
Yeah. So I broadly shared about it. So e-growth का purpose है छोटे businesses को इकट्ठे करना. We work on 3 pieces. The first one is collaboration. Second is excellence, which is about taking your business to the next level. And the third is opportunities. Excellence has 4 pillars to it. The first one is learning. An organization that stops learning stops growing. Second is innovation. जिस स्पीड से टेक्नोलॉजी बदल रही है, जिस स्पीड से चैलेंजेस बदल रहे हैं इस दुनिया में, अगर हम इनोवेटिव नहीं हैं तो there is no way that we will succeed even for the next year, forget next decade. थर्ड एलिमेंट इज ऑपरेशंस. जैसा अभी मोहपात्रा जी ने कहा कि जी वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन 800 करोड़ की है, दे कैन पोटेंशियली बी 3000 करोड़, लेकिन दे आर नॉट स्ट्रक्चर्ड. उनका ऑपरेशनल मैकेनिज्म ही ऐसा नहीं है कि जी वो उसको डील कर सके. द फोर्थ एलिमेंट इज नेटवर्किंग. जैसे आपने एग्जांपल दिया वहां का बेंगलोर वाले 2 लोगों का, who know that they can sink into each other and do much larger business. So वो जो है, one, we don't invest enough time to see who else is available whom we can leverage.
इंडिया में एक वीकनेस है, ये बहुत बड़ी वीकनेस है.
बिल्कुल. See, in India जो है वो divide and rule हम 1857 से सुनते आ रहे हैं. तो वो अंग्रेज चले गए, लेकिन वो डिवाइड एंड रूल रह गया, डिवाइड रह गया. रूल को लेकर
हमारा स्टार्टिंग प्रेमिसेस होता है मिसट्रस्ट रादर देन ट्रस्ट.
एब्सोल्युटली.
इस वजह से ग्रोथ कैसे होगा? इफ आई ट्रस्ट यू ओनली वी कैन डू समथिंग ना. मैं पहले दिन से आपको मिसट्रस्ट करूंगा, बाद में आपको क्वालिफाई करूंगा यू कैन बी ट्रस्टेड और नॉट, देन वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद नेगेटिव माइंडसेट.
या सो इट्स लाइक एज आवर लीगल सिस्टम आल्सो सेज, you are not guilty if you're proved so. It is not the other way around. By default you are not considered. बरी नहीं किया जाता आपको. तो वो कहानी है. So sir, for me personally it was really a pleasure. I would say it is music to ears to listen to somebody of this kind. मिश्रा जी, थैंक यू कि आपने एक और नायाब हीरे को खोजा और हम लोगों से रूबरू करवाया.
I will second that, endorse Atul's views on that, please. Thank you, Mishra ji. Thank you, Mahapatra.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so now we can just wind up the show today. Thank you very much, all of you. Now we are just leaving the meeting. Thank you, Mahapatra ji, once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mishra ji.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Mishra, sir.